This is the Art of Fashion TV, where art, fashion, and music all meet in one place, right here on the Art of Fashion TV. And now, welcome your host, Glenn Donovan.
All right, thank you and welcome to the Art of Fashion TV. I'm Glenn Donovan, your host. Tonight we have a great show coming up. I have with me Trish Cook. She is an actress and producer out of LA. Thank you for joining me, Trish. How's it going today?
Good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. So, Trish, you're working on a lot of different projects here. Tell me a little bit about this one called American Roots. You're working on that right now?
I'm very excited about American Roots. You know, there aren't a lot of stars that are one name people, Elvis and, you know, those kind of people. So Winona is that. And she's a wonderful person, talent, Grammy winner. She's also an actress. But anyway, we're doing kind of a travel log, kind of a show with her husband. That's the drummer, Cactus Mosier. And we're traveling all over the South to kind of behind the scenes look at the food and the music and the atmosphere and the culture. And it's all Americana fun with a great singing star.
Excellent. So you're traveling, kind of like following Winona and her husband around some of the southern states there. I have a son who's in Nashville right now. Is that one of the stops that you made along the way?
Yes, they were in Nashville. We have a schedule for 10 shows. It's kind of a reality show to show real people what they do and how the stars travel around with their bands and everything. So interestingly enough, her very first show was at Graceland in the Jungle Room, which is a really big deal. And so we did the first show there on tape. And the second one we did at Sun Records, where Elvis made his first recordings, yes, as everybody knows. And the third one, Willie Nelson's Ranch. So these are her friends in the country music business.
Awesome. That sounds great. So starting over in Graceland, traveling throughout the South, that sounds good. And you were also sampling some of the food along the way. I know when I take a ride, I just took a road trip to Virginia this past week. It was wonderful. But when you're on the road, I'm seeing a lot of fast food places, not so many great restaurants. Was it a challenge finding like some of the some of those good places to eat while you're on the road?
I think it's always a challenge. But part of the show is to share the food. They love it. I don't always like all the fried stuff as much as they do, but that's part of the show, to show the kind of places where a person goes to eat. And she kind of, there were friends with the owners of these establishments. It's not the regular fast food chain. These are kind of local establishments, and she talks to them and they play music in the establishment. Sometimes she's flipping the hamburger, and it's just kind of real life, what people do that are, even though they're stars, they're real people, and they're out there sharing personalities and challenges and all these things that come up along the way.
Oh, that's excellent. So when you roll into a town and you go into one of these local restaurants, are they excited to see, a big celebrity come through the door?
They're really excited because Winona is huge. She has a huge following in concerts and all of that. And she grew up in the South, and so she's very familiar with this. And it's kind of like rhythm and blues. It's who she is. And it's such a piece of Americana, but the focus is on the South because that's where the country music started, as you know.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of music going on. My son's saying that all the music's kind of funneling through Nashville, everything, all styles, not just country. All right, great. So where can we, is this coming out where we can see it anywhere, or has it been released yet, or is it still kind of in the making?
In the making. It hasn't been released yet. We're going to shoot a whole 10 shows before it's on the air. So we're working on that. So we're on about show 5 or 6 right now. So it's in process, but it's going to be a great show for everybody.
Excellent. Well, we're going to keep our eyes open. And one more name of the name of the show one more time again?
American Roots, and it's spelled R-O-U-T-E-S because they're on the roads, the roots to the South.
Okay, American Roots. I want to take a look at this. We have the trailer right here for it. Why don't we take a look? American Roots coming right now.
Clarksdale is a microcosm of the strange.
Yeah. That is a good way of putting it.
The blues have always been a part of my life. Bluegrass and blues are it for me. And I feel it in here so deeply that I need to be around it.
You need to hear them out.
We did kind of crash a wedding last night.
Right.
So.
Well, welcome to the dancer. That's what we do.
Thank you, Buxton.
Yeah.
Another project that you're working on over here. It looks like you teamed up with the Duck Dynasty people for a project called The Blind. Can you tell us a little bit about The Blind?
The Blind, I was cast. I have a lot of agents as an actor, and I have an agent in New Orleans. And believe it or not, I just auditioned like everybody else. My agent, of course, set it up, and they cast me for the show. And it's funny how all the pieces fit together, because I'm an actress when that's needed and a producer when that's needed. So I'm not part of the production team of The Blind. This was the Duck Dynasty family. And it's really kind of a rags to riches, very much of poverty, the really extreme poverty, to they're a well-known name now. And so we shot it in Shreveport. My character was the matriarch of the family that brought the Christianity to them that changed their life. So I was really happy to be cast in that role because it was very significant in his life.
Excellent, excellent. So is this kind of like a scripted adaptation from that story, the Duck Dynasty story, and it's kind of like, you know, telling that story of the family, you know, getting, you know, like you said, rags to riches, but of the Duck Dynasty story? Is that what it's about?
No, it's really about Phil's life, the head of the Duck Dynasty family. It's about his life from the time he was born. So that's why they did it in Shreveport, because he was born there. And his family were very, very, very poor. And his mother, I hate to say it, but she was in an insane asylum, and his father was kind of out doing God only knows what. And Phil was then responsible for his siblings. So where does a kid go for food if you don't have any money or anything? It makes me want to cry, I tell you. So he was in the woods. He was in the woods trying to shoot a squirrel, or that's where his keen sense of listening came from, because he was trying to shoot a duck or whatever he could find to feed his siblings to keep them alive. So this is how poor these poor kids were. They had kind of like burlap sacks for clothes. This is nothing about the reality show and everything that happened with that. It's his journey as a child up through, he marries his high school sweetheart. And of course, there were a lot of challenges for people that age. And I think they're tempted by alcohol and, you know, everything what a lot of people go through that had a lot of difficult things in their childhood. And so there's a turning point. This is a true story on his life. It is scripted. It's a real, no kidding feature film that's going to be released in September. But it tells Phil's life, because most people only know him as an older gentleman. In reality, he had the life that really needs to be explained, because it inspires others. And also it brings the Christianity, which is a very important part of his life, and how he found success at the end of his life and not in the beginning, because he was a lost soul, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's really amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Can you explain a little bit about the role that you're playing in the movie?
I played his sweetheart's mother, and because she liked Phil, but he was kind of a wild person, you know, he kind of raised himself in the woods, you know what I mean? And so her point was to show him and share with him that there's a better way in life, and you have to be humble and pray and have faith and find out what Christianity is about, helping each other, because that's what people were trying to do for him. And he had to go through, like all of us do, I guess, certain turning points in one's life. And when he kind of grasped the believe in God, it changed everything for him.
Wow, wow! I have some friends that have similar stories as well. I can share with them with you at another time. So that's great. So the name again of that project is called The Blind, and you said that's coming out and is on theaters, or where are we going to see that this September? You said
In September, it'll be in theaters. And when I first got the script, I thought to myself, The Blind. What kind of title is that? But after you know the story, you see why it's The Blind. He was kind of like a blind person trying to find food in his way and what to do and how to do it. So the title is really very good, actually, in my opinion. So it'll be out in September. September 23rd, I think, is the release date in theaters.
all right, coming right up. We do have a quick clip of The Blind, and this is starring Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty. The Blind, right here.
I, Phil Robertson,
I, Kay Carraway,
promise to love
and be with you forever.
You can do just about anything you set your mind to, Phil Robertson. But it's the drink. He becomes the devil's side. We're fine. I don't think we are.
Get out. I'm gonna make this work. I want it to work.
I don't know what to say, Master Smith.
You got to die, and then you need to be born again.
So we're going to keep our eye out for The Blind. So you mentioned a couple things about him finding his faith, and I believe that you're involved with some of those more faith-based kind of projects. You care to maybe explain a little bit about some of those other things that you're involved with?
I have about 16 projects altogether. So one of the ones that's really, really important to me is called God and I. And this project is a documentary, and it's basically true accounts of things that have happened to people that were kind of inexplicable in any other way. So we're filming these people from all over the world, and our director is going to combine with music and video and audio for people to kind of experience what others have experienced through their stories. I mean, I actually never planned on having it in the film, but my house caught on fire. So I actually experienced something similar to that. And I didn't put the fire out. The fire department didn't put the fire out. It was a big dramatic event in my life, but there was no other way to explain it than it wasn't me, and it wasn't the fire department that put it out and saved my life. So it's really very important to me, this project, God and I.
Yeah, definitely. So God and I are similar stories about that unexplainable kind of miracles that are kind of happening to everyday people in different stories and circumstances. Is that kind of what that's about?
Exactly right. That's exactly what it is. Different people are being interviewed and taped in their settings wherever they live. So this is going to be people from all over the world that have had all kinds of things happening to them. So we are planning not only God and I, it's in process right now, but God and I 1, 2, 3, because how many stories do we want to know about? A lot of things happen in the world that no one has any idea. So we've taken this challenge upon ourselves to uplift and share and give people real reason to believe that sometimes life isn't what just people think it is. It's actually much bigger than that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And when you were explaining it, the different stories that people are having, I was thinking the same thing. This cannot just be one episode. It could be kind of like a series. I was watching a series kind of about like near-death experiences, and they had dozens and dozens of accounts of different people and some of the spiritual journeys they went through at during a near-death experience, and some of those experiences. And it's just keeps on going on, and they had lots and lots of people. So I'm sure this is kind of a similar situation where you have plenty of people with their stories. I would say that some people might be reluctant to share their stories, but I'm sure there's enough people that are willing to come out and share that you can have enough material for definitely a whole series. Did you find that people are reluctant to kind of share some of their more personal stories with you?
I did find that some people want to share, and others, they volunteer. Do they want to tell their story? But I have to tell you, as one of the producers of this project, I was filming myself, because we're kind of on both sides of the camera in life. So when I'm filming this story, it's pretty hard to hold the camera still when this person explains what happened to her, that she died, she was in a coma, and what happened to her while she was in the coma, she was supposed to die, and what she saw, what she experienced, and that place between life and death, and what happened to her and how it happened. There's been a book written about her life, extraordinary woman, and she survived. I met her in person. She's about, 80, 85 pounds. She's very thin from everything that happened to her when she passed out. And now she's in charge of Los Angeles is one of the biggest places for organ transplants. And so she has devoted her life to that. When her husband, her family, everybody abandoned her. And it was a very difficult story to film. But I think it's really an important one, because sometimes the people that you think are going to stand by you, they don't.
Okay, Trish, I do believe we have a little trailer of God and I right here. So why don't we take a look at it? God and I. Well, Trish, I would love to talk to you some more. Unfortunately, we are kind of running out of a little bit of time, so I'm gonna, we're gonna wrap it up for now. But I want to thank you again. I really do wish we had a little bit more time to talk about, especially that last subject, because I definitely find it very interesting, and I could probably talk to you for an hour or two on that alone. But again, I want to thank Trish Cook for coming out, and I want everybody to look for some of her projects like American Roots, The Blind, and God and I. They're all coming out, and we'll keep an eye out there for you. Trish, thanks a lot for coming out today.
So much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Love everybody.
Talk soon.
Thank you.